Welcome to Buzzard's Corner of Love. What ways are you willing to think outside the box, angels? Approaching a new project with a new perspective, possibly? Maybe going the extra mile for a neighbor or friend? Or maybe giving without recognition? There's that and many ways more, angels, that you're able to think outside the box. I am Heather Buzzard of Buzzard's Corner of Love, bringing people back to themselves, where we uplift and inspire you to become more who you truly came here to be. Welcome to the month of November. One more month, angels, and we'll be in 2026. Just imagine, right around the corner. Yet before we get started, angels, grab your favorite drink, sit back and relax. Today we are drinking root beer. Love my root beer. So take a swig of your favorite drink. And sit back and relax as we kick off the theme of the month, Judgment. And somebody asked me, well, how come you're not doing gratitude and gratefulness because of Thanksgiving and whatnot? Yet I think judgment is more of an appropriate topic, especially in the times that we are in right now. So we're going to start out with the definition of judgment. The definition of judgment is the ability to make considered decisions and to come to a sensible conclusion. So the ability to make considered decisions and come to a sensible outcome or conclusion. That is the definition of judgment. Yet, what happens when we've been brought up in a house of negativity or an environment of negativity? What happens then? Well, I can tell you from my own experience, the inner self, my inner critic, became judgmental of me. And what that internal critic or the internal voice is it often is a voice that criticizes and judges you which is often rooted in childhood experiences and social expectations. Let me say this again. The internal critic, that internal negative voice that all of us hear within, some handle it better than others, that voice is that criticizes and judges you, which is often rooted in childhood experiences and social expectations. Now, I can only speak for myself. I know judgment for me has been a mountain that I've had to climb. And I was raised with a judgmental mother who was very critical. And I took on that spirit. And that my inner voice became very critical of myself. I talked down to myself. I was very negative about myself and my experiences in life. That's all in my book, Angels. You can read about that. Yet, what my point is that inner critic, because it was rooted in childhood, I heard it when I was growing up and I internalized it. I took it with me out into adulthood. And sometimes it served me, and a lot of times it didn't serve me. And it isn't something that I say I've reached that mountaintop and I've healed. It is something that I am continuously and will be continuously working on with myself. Judgment. Yet when we have that internal negative critical voice of judgment, we can portray that judgment onto others. I'll give you an example of judgment of myself. Growing up, in order to fit into society in a Caucasian world, I convinced myself that I was Caucasian as well. And angels, when I came to realize or had to admit that I wasn't, that internal voice, that critical voice inside of me started demeaning and tearing myself down because of all that I had heard about my race of people. Yet I will tell you, we can change it if we so choose. We can take that judgment and turn it into observation. This is what I have come to learn along my spiritual path. And I'm still in the process of unraveling and working with myself. And I'm reminding myself, instead of judging a book by its cover, or instead of judging a person by their outer, look at them and see the God. Know that they too are God. This is what I'm telling myself, so that I can push through this judgmental energy or any angst energy that I may still carry. Yet, because angels, I am choosing to be an example, and I have work to do on myself, yet being aware, being mindful is what helps us let go of that judgmental energy in a faster manner. And it allows us to shift our thinking, because when you're able to shift your thinking, then you can shift what it is that you judge or even your criticism about yourself. And I'm a living testimony of that, because as I've shifted my thinking about who I am, I dropped away a lot of the negative thoughts that I carried about myself. Also, meeting my birth family and getting into relationship with them and really seeing the truth of who I am has helped me incorporate that in my life as well, which has lessened that internal critical voice. Self-love is never critical. And angels, criticism or positivity and negativity can't stand in the same space. You can't criticize and love yourself at the same time. It doesn't work. You have to choose one or the other. You're either going to criticize yourself or you're going to love yourself. And there are times that I can slip off that path and I can get into a judgmental state. Yet, because of the spiritual experience that I have, I'm able to pull myself up out of that in a quicker manner. And that's all we're saying here at Buzzard's Corner of Love, is allow yourself to become aware of any judgmental thoughts that you may carry, whether it's about yourself, someone else, a situation, circumstance, whatever it may be, and give yourself the opportunity to change your thinking so you can change your perspective on life. That's what I've come to know, because as I've walked this path, that internal critic that has been with me for so long, I now talk with as a friend. And I've, in fact, just recently I had a conversation and I thanked that person that was, and I said, you will always be there. Yet, in order for me to move forward, that needs to be released, or I choose to release that. So, angels, how are you talking to yourself? Because I tell you, how you talk to yourself is how you talk to other people. And that I know from both sides of the coins, negative and positive. When I spoke to myself in a negative manner, I spoke to others in a negative manner. When I'm in a negative mood or when I can fall into that pattern, I can portray that or project that onto people. So ask yourself, in what areas of your life do you wish to release judgment, or do you feel that, whether it's judging yourself or whatever area it may be? And we're going to give you some ways on which to do that. Yeah, I will tell you, the inner critic is what needs to be silenced. And when you're able to silence that inner critic and turn that inner voice into one of loving yourself and praising yourself and positive affirmations and positive thinking, whether it be through music or however you get yourself to that point, that inner critic will no longer be. And I can raise a hand to that as well, angels, because like I said, as I have walked this path, that voice has become less and less and less and less. And more self love rises. And that is what this world needs right now, is for us to love ourselves so that we can extend that love to the world. We are the world, angels. So, here are some spiritual tools that you can use to release judgment. Mindfulness and observation. This is something that I have consciously uh, put myself in situations to do, to consciously observe in a non judgmental way. And as I'm sitting there, I'm telling myself I am observing non judgmentally. And angels, that has worked for me. I've taken myself out to places and have put myself out there just to watch people and have told myself I am observing in a non judgmental way. And it's a practice, it's a small step, yet it's a practice of being able to see the God within that person instead of the outer exterior. So, mindfulness and observation, acknowledge and label. When a judgmental thought arises, simply note it as a judgment thought and don't engage in any stories behind it. Meaning, I'll give you an example. If a negative thought within myself arose that I picked up in a childhood, then I acknowledge that negative thought and say, thank you for sharing and give it back, instead of going into all of the reasons as to why I picked it up and how come I picked it up and who I got it from, etc. and so on. That's what they're saying with that. Focus on the present. How many of us really focus on the present? We're always into tomorrow, next week, next year, and always out there. Focus on the present. Ground yourself, whether it's walking outside on the grass, hugging trees, whatever ways that you need to ground yourself with. You can ground yourself with your breath and your bodily sensations to connect with the current moment. When you're in this moment, right here, right now, allow yourself to be in this moment right here, right now, because now is all we have. Observe without attachment. That's non-judgmental observation. See thoughts as temporary events passing through your mind rather than facts to hold on to. This is observing your internal thoughts without attachment, without feeling that you have to do something or solve something or save someone or save yourself. It's just observing the thoughts crossing your mind and letting them go. Another tool is cultivating compassion and empathy. And meditation is an excellent tool to help you tap into your compassion and empathy, angels. You can use guided meditation. You can sit quietly. You can use sound bowl healing meditations. Next week, we're doing a releasement of resentment and judgment energy with a 917 hertz energy. So you can join us for our Meditation Tuesday. Meditation is a great tool to allow the negative energies within you to dissolve and allow you really to be put into a space where you can move forward in a positive manner. Again, I am a living example of it. Seek a deeper understanding in your life, however that may be. Pick up Ernest Holmes' book for spiritual living. Read Neil Donald Walsh's book, Deepak Chopra's book. You got Marianne Williamson's book. You got a lot of spiritual authors. You got my books, my ebooks, and my new book coming out. There's a lot of spiritual information out there. Listen to videos. You can listen to the videos here on this channel. You can listen to music. And allow your mindset to be infiltrated with positive energy. There is so much negative in the world out there via news, social media, TikTok, all of that. And if you focus your energy on that, that's what you're bringing into your environment. That's what you're absorbing. And then you ask yourself, how come I don't feel good today? Why do I feel so depressed? Why am I so angry? Well, if you're listening to the news 24/7 and you're on social media and ingesting all of that negative energy, that would make someone depressed. No, I know it would me. I choose to laugh. I watch as much comedy as I can. I watch a lot of comedians on YouTube. I watch a lot of musical acts, funny plays, and things like that. Laughter is healing, angels. And we as adults need to return back to laughing. Recognize shared humanity. Understand that when someone judges you, they're judging themselves. And that's what really made it click in my mind. When I finally was able to understand, Heather, you judge that person out there, you're only judging yourself, and that isn't helping you. That is true, angels, because anything anybody does and throws it on you isn't you. It's a mirror of who they are. And that's what we as spiritual beings, even myself included, need to remember. And even when I may be putting it out there on somebody and accusing them of something or somebody or something, that has to do with me. And it takes willingness to own that. And it takes maturity to be responsible. Shifting perspective. You can reframe your judgments by considering their consequences or by finding gratitude for others. Gratitude is a great way to release judgmental energy. Turn your judgments into thank you spirit. That's one thing that I do out here, especially because of the homelessness out here in California and the fact that it's right in your face. I give thanks and praise daily to spirit that I have a home, that I have a bed to sleep in, food to eat, a roof over my head, that I'm warm, I'm safe. And that energy is gratitude, angels. And I truly feel that that sustains me moving forward. So find a way to turn a negative into a positive by reframing your judgments. Look for exceptions. Actively seek out what is going unnoticed or is an exception to your judgmental view. Identify self-judgment. When you're criticizing, realize that your judging often mirrors how you judge yourself. So practicing self-acceptance dissolves external judgment. Practicing self-acceptance dissolves external judgment. How well do you accept yourself? Do you accept yourself 100% good, bad, and all of it? Or do you just accept parts of yourself? That is something that I've had to come into an understanding of as well, angels. In order for me to really love Heather, I have to accept all of myself, good, bad, and indifferent. Nobody outside of me has to. I have to. I don't have to. I can choose to accept all of myself so that I can make my life easier moving forward. Because it's really when you're able to accept all of yourself that the self-judgment does dissolve. Because when you accept yourself, angels, there's nothing to judge. Prayer and surrender. Surrender to a higher power, whatever you may call that, Jesus of Christ, life, spirit, God, energy, whatever you call it. Surrender to that higher power. Offer your fear-based judgment thoughts to God, the universe, or your higher self. Ask your angels, your guides, to help release these negative thoughts, to dissolve them into the nothingness from whence they came. And the universe knows your seriousness, it knows your intentions because it reads your energy and your vibration. Ask for guidance, angels. You can pray for love and divine guidance to help shift your perception and your thinking. And you can also pray and ask for divine guidance to pull the root cause of it so you don't have to repeat it. And I'm a living example of that as well because I've shared that with you, angels. A lot of things in my life I prayed to release the root cause so that I could move on. Conscious action, angels. Use affirmations, speak declarations like, I am healing, I am walking through life whole and complete, I am safe, I am well, I am prosperous, I am abundant, I am successful. Positive affirmations, angels. Turn your judgment into compassion. Actively choose compassion and love in moments when you feel the judgment within you coming up. And I'm speaking to myself. Consciously choose to love and see the good in others, which is why I am observing people in a non-judgmental observation way, because that has helped me let go of that critical thinking. It really has. Pluck the weeds. Address your judgmental thoughts early. It's like plucking a weed. When it's young, you can prevent it from growing up and growing in your consciousness. So when you notice a judgmental thought coming up, quickly turn it around, reaffirm it in your life, and choose something different. So these are just active tools, angels, that you can implement in your life throughout this month as we choose to release judgment. And like we said, next week is Meditation Tuesday, and we're using a 917 hertz energy of healing and releasing judgment. So join us for that, because it's in the stillness that the activity really takes place. It's when we stop doing and allow ourselves to be that the energy can truly saturate our being. Angels, that's just the first topic of this month of judgment. I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, whenever I do these topics, I always get confronted with it. So it will be an experience this month, I guarantee you. And I will share with you my experiences. Like we said, angels, next week is Meditation Tuesday. You can join us for that as we release the judgmental energy with our 917 hertz and hertz music. And angels, we got 20 signed copies of my book coming out, Breaking Shame, Reclaiming My Identity, coming out January 2026. If you'd like a pre-signed copy, you can email us. That's down here in the chat below. In the subject line, put pre-order book, and we'll make sure we put your name on the list to get a pre-signed copy. Angels, coming out January of 2026. Breaking Shame, Reclaiming My Identity. I am so excited about that. So angels, judgment. Allow the judgment in your life to allow yourself to release judgment of yourself. And as you do that, I guarantee you won't judge others. And I'm speaking to myself as well. Angels, always go to buzzardscorner.com, BUZZARDSKORNER, Buzzards Corner with a K.com. And we put up our new posting over there, angels. It's called Releasing Judgment. It's a great 300-word article, about 5-minute read, if that. Start or end your day with that, just to remind yourself to release any judgmental energies that come on throughout your day. We've got that and many other postings over there on our website. We've got coaching packages, group coaching packages, and individual packages over there just for you. As well as angels, you can go to lulu.com. Our ebook, 8 Easy Steps to Improve Your Life Now. You can download that. You can pick up our softback book, 5 Pillars for Life or Death. What are you choosing? Those are 2 great books to help you on your spiritual journey as you choose to move forward in love. Again, next week, Angel. You can find all that information at buzzardscorner.com, BUZZARDSKORNER, Buzzards Corner with a K.com. Angels, like, subscribe to our channel, join our channel. It helps get this information out into this world. Share it with someone else. Until next week, angels, I am Heather Buzzard, a Buzzard's Corner of Love, bringing people back to themselves.